Every year, millions of people head to the beach looking to relax. But some of the world's most beautiful shorelines are also its deadliest. From shark-infested waters to venomous creatures and armed cartels, these beaches have claimed hundreds of lives. These are the 20 most dangerous beaches on Earth. Number 20, Playa Zipolite, Mexico. Playa Zipolite sits on the Pacific coast of Oaxaca, Mexico. It looks like a paradise. Golden sand, clear blue-green water, and a laid-back vibe that has drawn backpackers since the 1970s. But the locals have always known the truth. They call it La Playa de los Muertos, the Beach of the Dead. The beach is considered the deadliest in Mexico, claiming around 50 swimmers every year due to its powerful underwater currents. The water just offshore runs in circular patterns, creating rip currents and undertows that can pull even strong swimmers away from shore within seconds. There is no reef to slow the force of the ocean, so the waves hit the beach at full strength. A volunteer lifeguard team was founded in 1995, and after their first year of operation, drownings at the beach were cut in half. But rescues still happen every single day. Between 2007 and 2009, there were no drowning deaths, but lifeguards still carried out 180 registered rescues during that same period. The water at Zipolite doesn't forgive mistakes. Number 19. New Smyrna Beach, Florida, USA. New Smyrna Beach sits on Florida's eastern coast, just south of Daytona. It's a popular surf destination with warm water and consistent waves, exactly the kind of conditions that attract both tourists and sharks. Since the 1880s, the beach has recorded over 300 reported shark incidents, more than any other beach in the United States. Volusia County, where New Smyrna Beach is located, records more shark bites than anywhere else in the world. The strong tidal flow near the Ponce de Leon Inlet pushes large numbers of baitfish into the surf zone, and the sharks follow. According to the International Shark Attack File, anyone who has swum at New Smyrna Beach has likely been within 10 feet of a shark. Volusia County has held the title of Shark Bite Capital of the world for over 30 consecutive years. Most bites here are cases of mistaken identity, blacktip and spinner sharks hunting baitfish and accidentally snapping at a surfer's foot or hand. But that doesn't make it any less dangerous. Attacks happen year-round, and the beach shows no signs of slowing down. Number 18, Hanakapiai Beach, Kauai, Hawaii, USA. Hanakapiai Beach sits on Kauai's remote Nepali coast, reachable only by a 2-mile hike along the famous Kilauea Trail. The scenery is stunning, but the moment visitors reach the water, the danger becomes clear. The Nepali coast has no major reefs to slow the force of ocean currents, making Hanakapiai one of the most treacherous beaches in Hawaii. At the trailhead leading down to the beach, there is a sign that keeps a running tally of deaths. A local newspaper reported that approximately 30 people drowned at the beach between 1970 and 2010. The rip currents here are relentless. They move in multiple directions at once and can drag even a strong swimmer far offshore within seconds. The currents are so powerful that the bodies of at least 15 drowning victims have never been recovered. During winter months, the sandy shoreline disappears entirely, washed away by powerful waves and high tides. The beach essentially ceases to exist for half the year, replaced by raw ocean force. Authorities consistently warn visitors not to enter the water under any conditions, yet people continue to ignore the signs and continue to pay the price. Number 17. Fraser Island, K'gari, Queensland, Australia. Fraser Island, now officially known as K'gari, is the world's largest sand island and a UNESCO World Heritage Site off the coast of Queensland. It draws around 500,000 visitors each year with its white beaches, clear freshwater lakes, and rich wildlife. But beneath the paradise image lies a combination of dangers found almost nowhere else on Earth. Swimming in the ocean around Fraser Island is not recommended. The beaches are not patrolled by lifeguards, and dangerous riptides can frequently be spotted along the shores. Sharks, including great whites and bull sharks, frequent the area. And, during summer months, deadly irukandji jellyfish may also be present. There is no medical center on the island, meaning any serious injury quickly becomes a life-threatening situation. On land, the island's population of wild dingoes has a history of attacking humans. In April 2001, a 9-year-old boy was attacked and killed by 2 dingoes near Waddy Point on Fraser Island. In January 2026, a 19-year-old Canadian woman was found dead on a beach on Kagari, surrounded by a pack of around 10 dingoes. The island looks like paradise, but it has a body count to match. Number 16. Praia de Boa Viagem, Recife, Brazil. Boa Viagem Beach stretches along the coast of Recife in northeast Brazil. 8 kilometers of wide, pale sand and warm water that once made it one of the most visited urban beaches in the country. Before 1992, it was considered safe. Then everything changed. The construction of Port Swap to the south disrupted the migration routes and feeding habits of local sharks, turning the beach into a hunting ground. Since records began in 1992, 64 people were attacked by sharks off Recife's beaches, of whom 26 died. The shark attacks in Recife have an unusually high fatality rate of around 37%, far above the worldwide average of approximately 16%. Bull and tiger sharks are responsible for most of the attacks, often striking in shallow water just meters from shore. Surfing is now banned at Boa Viagem, and warning signs line the beach. Lifeguards at the beach no longer train in the water. They now swim laps in a pool instead. Despite the restrictions, attacks have continued into recent years. The beach is still visited, but very few people dare to enter the water. Number 15. Cape Tribulation, Queensland, Australia. Cape Tribulation sits in far north Queensland, where the ancient Daintree rainforest meets the Great Barrier Reef. 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites in one place. Captain James Cook named the cape after his ship ran aground here in 1770, and the name has proven fitting ever since. The beaches are stunning. They are also genuinely lethal. The waters are home to box jellyfish, which are present year-round but more prevalent from October through June. They are translucent and hard to see, and a serious sting can result in death. Saltwater crocodiles also patrol the shoreline and nearby river mouths, lurking in shallow water where visitors least expect them. Sharks are known to patrol the waters, and a man was killed by one in 2014. On top of the marine dangers, the land itself is hazardous. Venomous snakes, cassowaries, and wild boars all inhabit the area. A 2023 analysis by Weather.com named Cape Tribulation the world's most dangerous beach, citing its combination of lethal jellyfish, venomous snakes, crocodiles, and cassowaries. Visiting is still possible, but swimming in the ocean is strongly discouraged at all times of year. Number 14. Gansbaai, Western Cape, South Africa. Gansbaai is a small fishing town on South Africa's Western Cape coast, and for decades it held one of the most fearsome reputations in the world. The nearby Dyer Island is considered the great white shark capital of the world, and the waters around Gansbaai were so heavily populated with great whites that it became a mecca for shark cage diving operations. Since records began in 1905, there have been a total of 248 unprovoked shark attacks in South Africa, with the Western Cape recording 55 of them. South Africa's fatality rate from shark attacks is among the highest in the world. Swimming outside designated safe areas near Gansbaai has historically been extremely dangerous. The water between the mainland and Dyer Island is known as Shark Alley. In recent years, a pair of orcas nicknamed Port and Starboard began hunting and killing great whites in the area, causing many sharks to abandon their traditional territory. Since 2017, at least 9 great white sharks washed ashore at Gansbaai, missing their livers, the hallmark of an orca kill. The great whites may have moved on, but the ocean here has a long memory, and the danger has not disappeared. Number 13. Réunion Island, Indian Ocean. Réunion is a small French overseas territory in the Indian Ocean, roughly 700 kilometers east of Madagascar. For years, it was known for world-class surf and warm, clear water. Then, in 2011, the shark crisis began. Over the following 8 years, sharks attacked 30 people around the island, killing 11, accounting for 18.5% of all known global shark fatalities during that period. Since 2011, Réunion Island has had the highest number of shark attacks in the world relative to its population and coastline length. Bull sharks are the primary culprit, drawn close to shore by the island's geography and the growth in marine tourism. The attacks were so frequent and so deadly that the French government banned surfing and other water sports outside of protected lagoons in 2013. The island was the location of over 16% of the world's fatal shark attacks from 2011 to 2016. Mitigation efforts including drumlines, drone monitoring, and shark patrols have helped reduce incidents, and international surf competitions returned to the island in 2024. But the sharks never left, and the water outside the lagoons remains restricted. Number 12. Skeleton Coast, Namibia. The Skeleton Coast stretches along the northwest coast of Namibia for around 500 kilometers, where the Namib Desert meets the freezing South Atlantic. The indigenous San people called it the land God made in anger. Portuguese sailors marked it on their maps as the Gates of Hell. Both names were earned. The cold Benguela current creates dense ocean fog for much of the year, and there is constant, heavy surf on the beaches. Around 300 ships are recorded to have sunk in these waters, while evidence suggests another 200 vessels may have met the same fate. When ships ran aground, survivors who made it ashore faced a second death sentence. No water, no food, and no way out across one of the world's most inhospitable deserts. Those who survived the initial wrecks faced crossing the vast desert wilderness in search of food and water, and many perished in the heat. Today, the Skeleton Coast is a national park, and tourists can visit parts of it. But the ocean has not changed. The shifting sandbars, the powerful surf, and the dense fog still combine to make this one of the most treacherous stretches of coastline on Earth. The rusting hulls of wrecked ships poking out of the sand are a permanent reminder of what this coast does to those who underestimate it. Number 11. Chowpatty Beach, Mumbai, India. Chowpatty Beach sits at the foot of Malabar Hill in central Mumbai, one of the most densely populated cities on Earth. Millions of people live within walking distance, and the beach draws huge crowds, particularly for festivals like Ganesh Chaturthi. But the water is a different story entirely. The sea at Chowpatty is irreversibly polluted, and swimming is officially advised against due to fecal coliform levels 3 times the acceptable standard. Raw sewage, industrial runoff, plastic waste, and festival debris pour into the Arabian Sea at this location year-round. The sand has turned black in places due to oil exposure, and the pollution has heavily impacted the marine ecosystem. During monsoon season, the situation worsens dramatically as floodwaters wash additional waste directly onto the shoreline. The danger here is invisible. There are no waves to warn you, no fins in the water. Swimming at Chowpatty means swimming in one of the most contaminated bodies of water in the world, with high risk of serious illness from bacterial infection, gastrointestinal disease, and toxic exposure. The beach remains popular, but the ocean is a public health hazard that no one should enter. Number 10. Second Beach, Port St. John's, South Africa. Second Beach at Port St. John's sits on South Africa's wild coast in the Eastern Cape. A stretch of sand surrounded by green hills and warm water that was considered perfectly safe for over 100 years. Then, in 2007, the attacks began. Since officials began tracking the attacks in January 2007, all but one shark encounter at Second Beach has resulted in death. Second Beach at Port St. John's earned the reputation of being the most dangerous beach in the world for shark attacks after recording 8 fatalities in just 5 years. Every single year, from 2007 to 2012, at least one person was killed. The attacks were almost always fatal, driven primarily by bull sharks that breed in the nearby Umzimvubu River. According to the International Shark Attack File, no other beach in the world had more fatal shark attacks than Second Beach during that period. The beach was eventually closed by authorities to prevent further deaths. The absence of funded lifeguards meant that in at least one case, a victim's body floated in the water for 30 minutes before rescue arrived. What makes Second Beach so chilling is not just the death toll. It is the fact that no one knows exactly why the attacks started, and no one can say for certain they have stopped. Number 9. Kilauea Lava Beach, Big Island, Hawaii, USA. The Big Island of Hawaii is home to one of the most active volcanoes on Earth, Kilauea, which erupted almost continuously from 1983 to 2018. During active periods, rivers of lava pour down the island's slopes and into the Pacific Ocean, creating a spectacle that draws thousands of visitors. It is also one of the most dangerous things a person can witness up close. When lava boils seawater completely dry, it creates a toxic plume called laze, a mixture of hydrochloric acid gas, superheated steam, and tiny shards of volcanic glass. The most dangerous type of event at a lava ocean entry is a delta collapse, when a newly formed platform of cooled lava suddenly gives way into the sea. These collapses have hurled hot rocks nearly a meter in size as far as 250 meters inland. The timing and direction of these explosions cannot be predicted. One moment the ground is solid, the next it is gone. In November 2000, 2 people were found dead near the lava ocean entry site. The medical examiner determined they died from pulmonary edema caused by inhaling the steam plume. Despite clear warning signs posted by the National Park Service, visitors regularly cross barriers to get closer. The ocean here is not just hot, it is actively trying to kill you. Number 8. Bikini Atoll, Marshall Islands, Pacific Ocean. Bikini Atoll is one of the most remote and beautiful places on Earth, a ring of 23 coral islands surrounding a vast lagoon in the central Pacific. It is also one of the most radioactively contaminated sites in the world. Between 1946 and 1958, the United States conducted 23 nuclear weapons tests at Bikini Atoll. The cumulative force of all tests across the Marshall Islands was equivalent to 7,000 times the force of the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. The 167 people who originally lived on Bikini were forcibly relocated by the U.S. military before testing began. Some were allowed to return in the 1970s, but were evacuated again after scientists found dangerously high levels of strontium-90 in the food and water. An 11-year-old boy who was born on Bikini in 1971 later died from cancer linked to radiation exposure he received on the island. Today, the atoll is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and can be visited by licensed divers who explore the sunken warships beneath the lagoon. Eating locally grown plants or wildlife is not recommended, and the island remains largely uninhabitable to this day. The water is clear and blue. The coral is growing back, but the radiation is still there, invisible, silent, and permanent. Number 7. Acapulco Beach, Mexico. Acapulco was once the jewel of Mexico's Pacific coast. In the 1950s and 60s, it was a playground for Hollywood stars and world leaders. John Wayne, Frank Sinatra, and even the Kennedys spent time on its famous beaches. That era is long gone. Today, Acapulco is one of the most dangerous cities on Earth. For 5 consecutive years, Acapulco was the deadliest city in Mexico, in a wave of violence driven by feuding street gangs and drug cartels. Disputes between cartels led to 1,890 murders in the state of Guerrero, which includes Acapulco, in 2023 alone. Bodies have been found on the beaches themselves. Armed men have opened fire on beach restaurants and chased victims into the surf. The U.S. State Department advises Americans not to travel to Guerrero, warning that armed groups operate independently of the government in many areas. In October 2023, Category 5 Hurricane Otis made direct landfall on Acapulco, destroying most of the city's hotels and killing dozens. The city was already on its knees before the storm hit. The beaches remain physically beautiful, but setting foot on them means entering one of the most violent environments in the Western Hemisphere. Number 6. Amazon River Beaches, Brazil. The Amazon River is the largest river system on Earth, and along its banks and sandbars lie a series of remote beaches that look almost tropical. What lives in that water is another matter entirely. The waters of the Amazon are home to electric eels, piranhas, anacondas, and parasites small enough to enter the human body through any opening. The river also carries strong and unpredictable currents that can drag swimmers down without warning. The water is murky, warm, and full of microorganisms. Bacteria, parasites, and waterborne diseases thrive in this environment. Mosquitoes near the river's edge carry malaria, dengue fever, and other serious infections. Organized crime groups have expanded into a third of cities in Brazil's Amazon region, making remote riverside beaches dangerous in ways that go well beyond the wildlife. Bull sharks are also a documented presence in the Amazon. Unlike most shark species, they can survive in fresh water and have been found hundreds of kilometers upriver. The Amazon beaches look serene from a distance. Up close, virtually every element of the environment is capable of killing a human being. Number 5. Praia do Norte, Nazaré, Portugal. Nazaré sits on Portugal's Atlantic coast, a small fishing town that has become world famous for one reason: the biggest rideable waves on the planet. The Nazaré Canyon, the largest submarine canyon in Europe, funnels and amplifies incoming Atlantic swells, producing waves that rise to the height of multi-story buildings. In February 2024, Austrian-German surfer Sebastian Steudtner surfed a wave 28.5 meters tall at Praia do Norte, believed to be the largest wave ever ridden. These are not waves that swimmers stumble into by accident. They are forces of nature that professional big wave surfers dedicate their lives to understanding, and they still get hurt. American surfer Maya Gabeira was nearly killed at Nazaré in 2013 after wiping out on a massive wave and requiring emergency resuscitation on the beach. Regular swimmers do not enter the water at Praia do Norte. The shore break alone is powerful enough to cause serious injury, and the currents beneath the surface are as dangerous as the waves above it. The beach draws enormous crowds to watch from the cliff tops. Getting into the water is reserved for the most elite surfers in the world, and even they do not always come back unharmed. Number 4. Banzai Pipeline, Oahu, Hawaii, USA. The Banzai Pipeline on Oahu's north shore is the most famous surf break in the world, and the deadliest. Pipeline has been called one of the world's deadliest waves. Its average wave is 9 feet, but it can reach 20 feet, and it breaks over a flat tabletop reef with several jagged underwater lava spires that can injure fallen surfers. The wave has claimed the lives of at least 11 surfers. The first was Joaquin Miro Quesada in 1967, who hit the reef, broke his neck, and died a few hours later. Since then, multiple professionals, people who had dedicated their lives to this wave, have been killed or seriously injured here. Powerful waves break in water just 3 to 6 feet deep over sharp coral and rock, creating conditions that can cause severe cuts, broken bones, paralysis, and death. What makes Pipeline so deceptive is how magnificent it looks. Millions of people watch competitions here every year, drawn in by the perfect barrels and the skill of the athletes. What the cameras cannot fully convey is the reef just inches below the surface and the speed at which everything can go wrong. Pipeline rewards the best surfers in the world and punishes any mistake without mercy. Number 3. Teahupo'o, Tahiti, French Polynesia. Teahupo'o sits on the southern coast of Tahiti, and its name translates loosely from Tahitian as Wall of Skulls. The wave is created by an extremely shallow coral reef that ranges up to just 20 inches beneath the water's surface, producing a uniquely hollow and violent breaking wave unlike almost anywhere else on Earth. There have been 5 confirmed deaths at Teahupo'o since the wave began being surfed regularly in the 1990s. The wave does not just break on top of surfers, it drives them directly into dry reef at full speed. Tahitian surfer Bryce Praia was killed at Teahupo'o in 2000. He attempted to duck dive a dangerous 12-foot wave, was thrown over the falls and landed headfirst on the reef, suffering 2 broken cervical vertebrae. In 2024, the break hosted Olympic surfing for the Paris Games, a decision that was both celebrated and deeply controversial. Professional surfers described it openly as a matter of life and death. The reef here is so shallow that surfers actually ride below sea level inside the barrel. When it goes wrong at Teahupo'o, there is nowhere to go and nothing between you and the coral. Number 2. Morecambe Bay, England, UK. Morecambe Bay on the northwest coast of England looks nothing like a dangerous beach. It is flat, wide, gray, and often foggy. A tidal estuary where the sea retreats kilometers from shore at low tide, leaving vast expanses of sand and mud. That is exactly what makes it so deadly. Morecambe Bay is known as one of the most dangerous stretches of coastline in Britain, and it has been claiming lives for centuries. The danger is invisible and fast. When the tide turns in Morecambe Bay, the water can return at the speed of a running horse, several kilometers wide, moving in from multiple directions simultaneously. Walkers and cockle pickers who venture too far out onto the exposed sands are caught before they can return to shore. Quicksand-like mudflats also swallow people who stray from safe paths. In February 2004, 23 Chinese cockle pickers drowned when they were caught by the incoming tide at night, one of Britain's worst peacetime disasters of its kind. Morecambe Bay still kills people today. The combination of unpredictable tidal channels, soft mud, fog, and the sheer speed of the returning sea creates conditions that experienced local guides struggle to navigate safely. Crossing the bay without an official guide is considered one of the most reckless things a person can do in the UK. Number 1. Playa Zicatela, Puerto Escondido, Mexico. Puerto Escondido sits on the Pacific coast of Oaxaca, Mexico, and its main break, Playa Zicatela, is known throughout the surfing world as the Mexican Pipeline. The wave has claimed the lives of multiple surfers, including Ron Cassidy in 2007, Noel Robinson in 2011, and Jay Adams in 2014. But it is not just surfers who die here. The beach is a public swimming beach, visited by thousands of tourists who have no idea what the ocean is capable of. The shore break at Zicatela is among the most violent in the world. Waves detonate directly on the sand with enormous force, and the currents pull victims sideways and under within seconds. There are no reefs to slow the energy of the Pacific swell. It arrives at full power and breaks all at once. Unsuspecting swimmers have been killed simply by standing in the water as waves hit the shore. Rescue attempts are dangerous even for lifeguards, and the beach has seen multiple fatalities every year. What earned Zicatela the top spot is the combination of all factors: devastating waves, lethal shore break, strong currents, a public beach that invites casual swimming, and a death toll that includes both elite professional surfers and ordinary tourists who never saw it coming. The ocean at Puerto Escondido does not distinguish between expert and novice. It just wins. These beaches prove that beauty and danger often share the same shoreline. From radioactive lagoons to shark-infested waters, the ocean has never played by our rules. Some of the people on this list were warned. Some were not. None of them thought it would happen to them. If you enjoyed this video, click on the video appearing on your screen now and remember to hit the subscribe button.